What's up, YouTube? Coming at y'all again real quick. This is a follow-up video on Stephen A. Smith. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and repeat something that I heard here again at Derek Jones Talks. For all the trolls and haters in the comment section, please pay attention to what I say and not what I don't say. Like, when I tell you I'm just sharing information, that's pretty much all I'm doing. Now, I might sometimes put my own way or spin on things, or how I talk or whatever, or how I view things or whatever, but at the same time, man, it's just talk, man. It's just information sharing, and that's pretty much it. This one is something that I heard. I guess you could say from the witness with personal firsthand knowledge. I put a video up about Polite not too long ago, and I used what I thought was a witness to a witness. So, like, I was just passing information, and you got all types of people running their mouth and whatever, man. I have a video coming for that soon, too, because you're not going to keep playing that smart guy stuff with me. Just because Polite was on, basically, not really TV, but on YouTube TV, doesn't mean he's the only one who knows what he knows. Like, I'm not going into that right now. But just know that he's not the only one who knows what he knows. Like, it's a bunch of us out here who've been doing things, battling against the police, literally, like, and we're not on camera, and we're not recording it, and we're not making photo ops out of it. So don't get shit twisted thinking because you see this dude on TV talking about the chakras and the this and the that, and he went to Egypt and this, like, or this person talking about I knew Dr. Ben, or all this, like, dog, you don't know any. I haven't heard anything new from these brothers that I hadn't previously heard when I started subscribing to them. So that's enough of that. I'm going to do another video about that. But back to Mr. Stephen A. Coons Smith. I guess that's his name, Stephen C. Smith. Stephen Coons Smith. I'm subscribed to, and I listen to a very, very, very talented and funny brother named Corey Holcomb. And Corey Holcomb, he has a show called 5150. And I just listened to it today, as a matter of fact, one of his podcasts came up or whatever. So, anyways, he goes in a lot on coons, like Charles Barkley, and he had a joint up there with Charles Barkley's wife, with a picture of Hellboy as his wife. But anyway, he was talking about Stephen A. Smith one time, and I just recently got on, subscribed to Corey Holcomb about maybe 2 months ago or so. So it hasn't been like all year or 2-3 years. So it's like sometimes I go back through his old videos and I watch them when I ain't doing shit. And so I go and I watch the video, and he was talking about Stephen A. Smith, and he was saying how it was what Stephen A. Smith was like. Basically, Corey was saying that, yo, brothers like him shouldn't be able to walk around black people. You shouldn't be able to kick it with black people. You shouldn't be able to be around niggas and kick it, man, at all, period, because of the shit that you do. And so he was like, this is before Skip Bayless got left the show, left First Take and all that. He said he had seen Stephen A. at a basketball event. It was an all-star weekend, I guess, some all-star basketball weekend, NBA basketball weekend. And Corey does a lot of work with Shaquille O'Neal as far as before. I don't know if he's doing it now, but I know that he has. And so anyway, he starts going in about how he met Stephen A. And he said, and not to paraphrase, he said, when I see him, I've already been talking about him. He knows I've been talking about him. So basically, I'm paraphrasing. He's not saying this, but this is what he's saying. So you can go look for it yourself. But to see, I'm not making it up. You know what I mean? I'm just giving a synopsis of what he said. So he was basically saying how he met the brother there, and before he could say anything, basically he didn't say anything about that shit. He said Stephen A. Smith came up to him, and he said he was looking all down and like, yo, man, you know, I gotta say that stuff, man. You know what I mean? Just for the TV, I just gotta say that stuff, man. I don't really. So basically, hinting at, I say coonish shit. I say shit that basically is 110% on the side of white supremacy 99.9% of the time I open my mouth. And you're saying you do this shit just for the TV. You do this just, basically you're doing this just to appease white people so that they'll leave you alone and they'll pay you. Ultimately, that's what I'm getting out of that. If that, because I don't see Corey Holcomb making that shit up. And the way he is when he talks about other people like Jamie Foxx and all the homosexuals out in California, I'm pretty sure he's saying that shit just because they are probably fucking gay. Like he's privy to information that we're not privy to, being the fact that he worked with them before and he meets these people and he sees these people. So it's like you making excuses for what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're fucking talking about black people 24/7. You bring up statistics about how black people are supposedly raping or abusing more women in the NFL players, but you don't bring up a statistic saying how the majority or 60% or 70%, whatever the final number was, because that shit fluctuates every few years. But point being, the people who beat their wives the most are police officers. So you're not bringing that shit up. You're not saying anything about that. You're not bringing those stats up and sharing them with the people. But you have no problem busting black people. You have no problem with standing there telling black people on national television, young black men, to pull up their pants and be respectful. Then I heard you say before how you got pulled over by a cop and you asked him, was something wrong, officer? He looked at you and told you, shut the fuck up. How do you respect that? How could I tell my sons to respect that? Seriously, man, how could you tell your children? How could you tell anyone's child? How could you tell your fellow brother to respect that? Like, come on, man. It has to be a backbone somewhere in you, G. But just sharing information, yet again, that last little part was my opinion about everything, of the things that he said and done. But, yo, that's what the brother said. The brother said, I met Stephen A. at an All-Star game. Stephen A. came up to me. He said, I didn't even say a damn thing to him. He went in first and started saying how the shit that he says about black people, i.e. cooning on national TV, is something that he basically does just to appease white people so that he gets paid, that he really doesn't mean that. That's really not how he feels or thinks. So basically, Stephen A., you're lying every day that you're on TV, ha ha ha, smile, getting up giddy with white people, and basically you really don't like white people, or you're saying the shit that you're saying about black people and you really don't mean it, but you just want to pay your car payment and have a nice apartment, and you got to pay that bill, so you'll go ahead and say, I don't know, it's kind of confusing, but I'm going to ride with Corey Holcomb on this. And Corey, if you see this video, which you probably won't, you know what I mean, see any of my lowly videos, but I don't mean no disrespect, it's just something I heard you say. I'm pretty sure you stand on everything you say, boss. So, and love your fucking show. This shit is hilarious. I don't like your daughter. Like, that shit is the funniest shit ever. But it was just something I heard, and I put two and two together. I was like, wow, man. If he said that to that brother, Corey's basically a witness with personal first-hand knowledge that Stephen A. Smith came up and said that he coons out on TV for black people basically just to make money. He got to say that shit so those white people will give him a job. Basically, that's what you're saying. Have a good one, y'all. I'ma holler at you later.